Welcome to Astana Symposium. Today is 13th of November in the morning, and then we will start to symposium sessions in this program, in this session. So if another members can join us. So the first presentation is Professor Dr. Valbona from Albania. So we are ready to listen to Valbona. Okay, Valbona, would you please present your presentation? Just 15 minutes, please.
Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be part of this symposium. First of all, I thank my Professor Bilgin, for giving to me this opportunity and for helping me during all my PhD process and to writing this article. I am very happy for having him as my professor. I used to work on my articles in performance appraisal process to Albanian police personnel because I am working as a research assistant in Tirana University, and I am assisting in subjects like criminology, penology, and this is a subject near to my fields of working. I worked on my PhD to performance appraisal process and employee developments. So to civil servants, I wanted to see these tools, how they are working in Albania to police personnel, to see this if performance appraisal is an effective process in this field. And what does this mean? To see if real, so is applying for real in practice, and if this process is bringing the desired conclusions. So this process is helping our police personnel to improve their capacities, or is something just being in practice and it's not real. For reaching these conclusions, I work in two directions. First, I analyze the legal documents like law for police personnel, their regulation, and so on, to see if they have this tool prescribed in the law. After doing this kind of analysis, I analyze this process in practice. So if in our police personnel is happening this, so they are measuring their performance appraisal, and if yes, for what reason they are using this kind of tools. That's why I raised three kinds of questions. Firstly, the completion of the process of performance appraisal for prisons police personnel. The second, which is the procedure for completion of this process. And the third question is related with the performance of
sorry, Valbona. Would you please show us the presentation PowerPoint slide, if there is?
I have one, but now I have to see how.
Any problem? There is a technical problem now?
I have to check. Just a moment.
Okay.
Yes, I was discussing previously that to reach the aim of this article, to see if the performance appraisal process of police personnel in Albania is a real process, I raised three questions. Firstly, I saw if in our laws we have prescribed this kind of instrument. Secondly, I analyze the procedure of doing this process in practice, and then I analyze the purpose of doing this process. And for doing this, I said previously that as a methodology, I use two directions. Firstly, I analyze the law, and secondly, I saw how is working this in practice. After analyzing
law and practice, okay.
Yes.
Law and practice, yeah.
Law and practice. After analyzing the law, I saw that in the police personnel law, because we have a law just for this to organize and to regular the working day of the police personnel, how we are going to choose them, how we are going to motivate them, or how we are going to develop them. But in this law, there is just one prescription according to performance appraisal, but it's not a regular how we do this process. So the process for doing the performance appraisal, the motivation, why we are doing this, and so on, or for example, the aims of this process, and so on. So practically, in practice, we can do this process because we can't know how to do, because the process of doing this is not regulated by the law. The aim, we have no aim, and so on. And when I go to the practice and I choose to ask the police personnel, because in general in Albania we have 23 penitentiary institutions. In Tirana we have 4 of them, and I asked just the police personnel of penitentiary institutions in Tirana, because by keeping in mind the time when I conducted the questionnaires, it was the COVID situation that it's now for sure, and this it was an obstacles to distribute questionnaires in all penitentiary institutions.
Sorry, Valbona. How many questionnaires in your survey? How many?
They was just 34 questionnaires, and in Tirana they are working around 150 police personnel. But during this period, that's why I mentioned previously the pandemic situation, many of them was working by scheduling, some in the morning, some in the afternoon, and it was difficult to ask all of them, to find them in work. But to avoid this a little bit, I used distributing the online, but I saw that many of them don't know how to use good and to fill the questionnaires. So many of them was helped by someone else to open questionnaires and to fill it. Also, another problematic issues that avoided the filling of these questionnaires by many of police personnel was because during that time in Albania was political election, and in many other studies in European Union reports, in Albania, unfortunately, political has an effect in public administration, and sometimes public.
This is the same in everywhere. Don't worry, this is the same.
They are not sincere in giving their answers, or they are afraid even to fill the questionnaires. That's why we have a low number of filled questionnaires, and that's why I choose to work just in the city of Tirana, because it's supposed that this kind of error it's not higher than in other cities. So we have around 10% of police personnel answered this these questionnaires. And in the answers, actually, if we see, they are not, they didn't give standard questions, so they in their answers doesn't have a logic. So they gave different answers in the first question, different answers in the second questions, and different answer in the third question. So this means that they are a little bit.
Sorry, how many parts in your survey? How many parts? I mean, question part.
I have 3 sections. First section is to collect demographic data.
Demographic information.
Yes, demographic information, their education, their age, their seniority, and so on, because I thought that there is, I can find interesting information that will help me to analyze the questions in other sections. I have the second sections, but the second section is not subject of this study. And I have the third section that is the core of this article, that is performance appraisal of prisons police employees in the Republic of Albania. And in this section, as I mentioned previously, I have 3 questions, important questions.
Sorry, Valbona, do you believe that the prison policemen they can understand what's the meaning of the performance appraisal?
Actually, many of not many, but all of them in questionnaires are responsive that yes, in our institution is happening this, but if we see in other questions, in reality, I can think that they doesn't know better what is this process and for which reason we are doing this process, because many of them reply different questions according to the procedure. So what kind of method we use to measure the appraisal process, and in other they said this process is happening for different kind of purposes. For example, if we see their answers, many of them said that this process is being done by our human resource personnel. Others said that this process is done by our general director, and many of them said that this process is done by our director. But in reality, actually in the law, it is said that this process is done by director, the direct director, not general director. And for sure in this process is he is helped or she is helped by the human resource staff. But when it is the time to give their result, for example, excellent or good or bad or not enough, is his decision. And according to the purposes why they do this process, some of them said that to improve our capacities, to see if we are doing our job, and many of them said that this is not a real process, so they are not using this process for nothing. And some of them said that this is a process for helping us to increase in our grades, so to improve in their career. But if we see the law, actually in this just one articles, but if we see also the regulation on this, but it's an old regulation and not based in the new law, actually it doesn't say something about the purposes why they do this process. But if we read the law, all the law, it's related more in helping this police personnel to increase in their grades, to help them improve in their career. So to pass from just a simple police personnel, but to be chief, director, and so on. So this process is not helping them to improve their capacities or improve their personal or professional development, because it's not this the aim. And sometimes, unfortunately, this aim is used to keep them under pressure, because if they are not doing their job good, or they doesn't want a person to be in their organization, they use this tool to leave the job, to dismiss them from the job,
to go out of the company, to go out the institution.
Of the institution. Unfortunately, in many times they are using for this, but there is no connection to show that this tool is used to help them to be improved, or better saying, in this study, this short study, this is not a real process for two reasons. Because firstly, it's not regulated in the law, so we have not a good institute regulation in the law to show the procedure, to show the aim of, for what are doing this process, actors that are involved in doing this process. So this is one reason for why this is not used well in the practice. And secondly, that is showed by the questionnaires distributed, it because we have no a mentality for using this these tools. So even why we have an article, or short articles that are regulated this is not used.
They want to practice, they want to get the practice of performance appraisal, we can say?
Yes, police personnel wants to be appraised in their performance, and wants that this motivate them further to be improved in their personal and professional aspect. But according to the actors that law said to be in this process to be done, they are not doing their job good enough, or they are doing in some special occasions when this is needed. For example, when a police personnel wants to change the job, so to go in other penitentiary institutions, or want to have a better job position, they are doing this process because it's something requested by the law to have a good performance or excellent performance results in order to do a rotation in job, or they are doing in some occasion when want to dismiss someone from the.
I have another question, please. Would you please tell me, is there any difference between normal policeman and the prison policeman? Is there any difference?
Yes, there is a difference, because they are regulated different by the law. We have our, how can I say, normal police that is protecting law and order in generally, and we have police personnel in prisons that they work just in penitentiary institutions, and the main duty is to provide law and order in penitentiary institutions. And if, for example, we have a transfer of inmates from penitentiary institution to another penitentiary institution, or to the court, or to the hospital, they are doing this process during this transfer.
So another question, is there any name, official name of the prison policeman? For example, prison security, like this. Is there any? Anyone?
Yes. Previously, I said that we have 23 penitentiary institutions, and by law, they are divided in 4 categories. We have high security penitentiary institution, medium level, and low level security penitentiary institutions, and we have some open prisons. In Albania, we have just one open prisons. That in prisons are inmates with low risk, and they did criminal offenses that are not so
so, is there any woman prison policeman in your survey?
Yeah, in my survey they are women, but in the most of questionnaires are filled by men, not by women.
What's the rate?
The rate was from females 33%, around approximately 33% from women.
I see. Yeah. Okay. The time is going on. So would you please tell us a conclusion of your presentation?
Yes, I have 2 main conclusions that are important in regard of this. The first conclusion is that the legal framework in force does not provide a sufficient regulated and guarantee for the functioning and implementation of this tool in practice, because, as I said previously, in all law is prescribed just one article that regulates this tool, and in this article, in just this article, it's not regulated everything that's it's good to be regulated in terms of performance appraisal. For example, the process, the actors involved, on the purpose, for what reason we are doing this process. And the second conclusion that is important also is because regarding this not sufficient legal framework, but also due to the lack of performance appraisal for prison police personnel, because they are not used or taught how to use this tool. In practice, this tool is not fully efficient, or it's not happening, but it's just a formal process. Because even for the fact that many of the respondents reply that yes, in our institutions, this process is done. If we saw their answers in another question, they doesn't have any information how this process is done, about the process, about the actor who is measuring him or her performance, and what is the main important, they doesn't know, or they have no information why or for what reason the result of their performance is used by their efforts or by their organization. So they have no information for what reason we are doing this process, or for what, in which direction this process can help them.
Okay. Thank you very much, Valbona, for your presentation. I have to ask someone. Any question in this session? Mehmet Ali Bey or Süleyman Bey, any question? There is any question? Sorunuz var mı Süleyman Bey?
Hocam benim yok şu anda. Mehmet Ali Bey'in varsa şey olur. Bu da savunması gibi oldu zaten.
Evet. Ne yapalım? Böyle icap etti artık. Yani diğer arkadaşlar katılmadılar herhalde. 6 kişi var diye biliyorum.
6 kişi var aslında. Doğru diyorsunuz. Sizi ben salon başkanı olarak, oturum başkanı olarak yazdım hocam.
Tamam. Peki.
Gönderirim hocam. Başka
tamam,
şu anda var mı? Oturumda yok herhalde başkanım.
Yok, başka yok galiba. Yani
tamam.
10.30'da bitiyordu zaten. Kimse gelmedi.
Tamam.
Yoksa 9'da başlaması lazımdı.
Tamam hocam. Şu anda
o zaman ben oturup
Sağ olun hocam. Teşekkür ederim. Sağ olun. İyi günler. Valbona teşekkür ediyoruz. Sağ olun. Sağ olun.
Evet. Thank you very much. Also, Süleyman Bey, thanks to you, Valbona. And then the session is stopped. Session is finished. Don't worry about your presentation. It was quite good, but unfortunately there isn't any PowerPoint slide. PowerPoint slide is definitely necessary. Definitely.
Yes, but I was not able to.
Yeah, I know. It's technical problem. There is a technical problem. That's why we couldn't show it to the conference. But your presentation is good. You said everything about your article, about your paper. Okay. This is the first presentation is good. Don't worry. Yeah, it's a good experience for you. It's a good experience for you. But tomorrow, inshallah. Sorry.
I was thinking about this.
Yeah. Don't worry. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock or what's time tomorrow?
I have no.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Congress. I couldn't find it. Okay, tomorrow morning again. And would you please? You have to try show your presentation by PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint is it's very useful for us, for listener people.
Yes.
Because to follow you, if you want to follow you, it is necessary to see your subjects, to see the titles of your presentation. It's quite necessary. But your presentation was quite good. Don't worry. And then maybe I have to say before your presentation, happy birthday to you. Yeah, I am sure that just only 25 years old. Not more. All the women, they are only 25 years old. Don't worry. Yeah. Okay. My wife also said good presentation. That
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Would you please give regard to your family?
Yes. And my fiancé will come after me in Ankara.
Yeah. Okay. So we finished the session, and then we will see you again tomorrow morning, inshallah. Okay?
Thank you very much, Hocam. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.